Good morning. I'm standing not in the sun as for the first time since before Christmas, I am bringing you live yoga outside at the treasure box. So Gary has given me this beautiful porch to do yoga on. And when it's too chilly to do it outside, he's going to give me a porch heater. I'm so excited. So if you have not been able to do yoga because you really don't want to practice online and you would like an in-person experience, I am also offering, in addition to my Zoom classes, and I am also Zooming in all of my in-person sessions, I am offering outdoor yoga in person in a completely COVID safe manner. We have just a little more time to go before we, have more vaccinations out and at a safer society to do things in person. But in the meantime, I'm doing everything that I can to bring you the gift and the art and the beauty of yoga in ways that are sustainable and ways that are healthy for everybody involved. So please join me next week if the weather is good. We'll have to play this week by week. But if the weather is gorgeous like it is today, oh my gosh, it feels like a late spring day. If it's like this, then we can do yoga. So today we are focusing on a practice influenced by the Prithvi Mudra. The Prithvi Mudra is when we take our ring finger and attach it to our thumb, make all of our other fingers straight, and turn our hands up and straighten out our arms forward. What is this mudra? This is the gesture of the earth. And the reason we take this mudra is to remind us, one, to have a very healthy, strong posture that is rooted in the strength and the core of the earth. So taking the energy from the earth and allowing it to travel beautifully up the spine, making us strong, making us shine, drawing the crown of our head up to the sky. So that's one feature of it. And you hear me if you've been in my yoga classes talking about posture, and how very important it is for the health of our whole body and the health of our spine and to reduce injury. Another reason we take this mudra is to lower our stress, lower our blood pressure. We combine it with the deep yogic breath of drawing the breath all the way down into the deepest parts of the lungs and then growing it all the way up as we exhale. So fully inhaling and exhaling. It is so important to know how to use all the parts of our lungs in order to have healthy breathing. And a healthy lung is a lung that can fight off the effects of illnesses such as COVID pneumonia. So if you want to learn how to deep breathe, that's a wonderful mudra for that purpose. We also take it to lower our blood pressure. It helps calm the nervous system. It helps calm us in many ways, teaches the whole body to relax while maintaining a healthy posture. So a calm nervous system, lowered stress is healthy for the immune function. So it helps boost immune function. It also helps contribute to healthier digestive function and healthier elimination. If you know in your own life space, if you've had periods of high anxiety, you know that elimination is most certainly affected by that in many ways, either by not moving or moving way too fast. So this is another nice gesture, nice mudra to take to enhance that. So today we are going to be doing our power class that includes grounding poses, focus on the health of the lowest part of our spine. So you're going to see some back bends, and we're going to throw some twists in as well. So I invite you to please join me on the mat. And I'm grabbing my coffee on the way. Oh, there it is. So I am really beyond excited to be able to be here. I can't tell you how excited I am. This is a wonderful location and I'm out of the sun, so it'll be great in the summertime as well. So a sip of coffee, set it aside. I'm going to take off my sweater because I think it's too warm for that as well. Whoever knew? We're in mid-January and it's too warm to wear a sweater outside. I would like you to take easy seated pose or Sukhasana. If you prefer for the first few moments of breathing and taking this mudra, if you prefer to sit in half lotus, that certainly is an option as well. The reason I encourage sitting up on something, I didn't even tell you that part, but I'm sitting on a bolster. I'm sitting on actually a meditation pillow that was made by a friend of mine when I graduated from my yoga teaching certification. And when we sit up on something, it can be on top of a block. These are the half blocks, and they're a nice height. Or it can be on a blanket that's been folded and elevated, or it can be on a bolster or on top of a meditation pillow. But when we elevate our hips, it allows our knees to fall down. And then we can really focus on widening the knees without stress. It also allows us to sit nice and tall and beautiful. And when we sit like this, notice my shoulders are drawing back and down. It's just such a natural process. I don't have to work at it. And then my crown has space to move up. So you can imagine, you know, and the feeling of this porch, that if there was a string pulling my head up high to the ceiling, right? Keeping me anchored and lifted, raising up my heart center. You could even imagine a string, you know, attached to the center of your sternum here, pulling your heart center up. And when we do that, we have this gorgeous, tall, long posture, which allows for the energy from the base of our spine at the root chakra, all the way to the crown chakra, to travel all the way up our midline, all the way up to the top, allowing energy to flow freely up and down. So I invite you now to take that mudra, taking our ring fingers and pressing them against our thumbs, flip our hands upside down, straighten out our arms, draw the shoulders back and down as we lift up the crown, and inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale through your nose. And as you inhale and exhale, expand and contract your belly. As you begin to breathe, lowering your reactions, your nervous system responses, settling into this posture, begin to find ease, softening your edges while maintaining a nice, high, long, tall spine. Imagine that your breath is starting at the very root of the spine and traveling all the way up to the crown of the head. And then imagine that it is being brought back down, drawn back down to the root of the spine, back to the earth. To make space for it, expand the belly, the ribs, and the chest as your breath ascends. And as the breath descends, allow those parts of the body to relax back inward. Again, continue to inhale, expand the belly on the inhale, expand the ribs, expand the collarbones, and grow your breath all the way to the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, draw it back down, returning it to the earth. Initiating your breath right at the root of your spine. Inhale, drawing it all the way to the crown of the head. And then on your exhale, draw it back down. The recommendation is that we take this mudra 10 minutes per day. So my charge to you this next week is to give yourself the gift of 10 minutes of stillness, to meditate within this pose, to use it to find your center, to help you feel anchored. Let's link some movement with breath. Inhale your hands out and up. And exhale your hands out and down. Inhale out and up. Exhale out and down. Let's inhale out and up again. And then exhale out and down. Let's take just a couple of simple twists before we head into the standing portion of our routine. Inhale our hands up. Exhale, draw the left arm behind you as you bring your right arm in front. Take your right arm to your left leg. Place your left arm down on your pillow or on the ground behind you. Lift up the crown of your head on the inhale. And then on your exhale, deepen into your twist on the left side. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, return to center. Inhale our hands up. Exhale, bring the right arm behind and the left arm forward as we turn to the right, placing our left hand on our right leg, right hand on the ground. Inhale, draw the spine tall and long. And then on your exhale, deepen into your twist on the right side. One more inhale. And then exhale, turn to the front. Inhale our hands overhead. And then exhale, bringing our hands out and down. Let's remove whatever we are sitting on and start at the top of the mat. The first wonderful grounding pose I will show you, and I'm going to adjust the camera ever so slightly. This is how it is. This is my first time being on the porch, and it's hard to figure out where I want everything. And I decided to use my computer for recording today because it's a better quality recording. There we go. Okay. So starting at the top of our mat, let's take Tadasana. So a nice strong Tadasana is one where we feel connected to the earth, where we feel the strength of the earth supporting our body fully and giving us energy that we will draw up the midline of the body, up through the arches of the feet, to the center of the legs, to the midsection of the body, all the way to the crown of the head. But to do so, we need to establish our foundation. So initially, I invite you to lift all of your toes. Make it so that the big tall toe mound and the little ball toe mound, so those two balls at the front of your foot, that those are firmly connected to the floor, and that your heel is firmly connected to the floor. And then allow, once you've established that, bend your knees ever so slightly, draw the belly button up towards underneath the rib cage, float your shoulders down, draw the crown of your head up, drawing your head back in alignment with the back plane of your body, and then allowing your arms to drop to the side, but then turn your hands forward, wrapping your shoulder blades onto your spine. It's actually a lot of work going on. And then lower your toes, starting with your pinky toes. Now that you've established this foundation, you should feel engagement of all of your core muscles up the center of the body, the side waist muscles, and you should feel the space of your tailbone beginning to draw down towards the floor. Maintaining this beautiful extension, length, and strength. Inhale your hands out and up. Grow your spine even longer, and then exhale, float your hands down. Inhale, bring your hands out and up. And exhale, float them down. One more inhale, hands out and up. And then exhale, bend your legs slightly as you start your forward fold into the first Uttanasana of the day. Drop your hands to the floor, drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine, drawing the crown of your head forward, allowing your sits bones to float back. Exhaling down. Inhale, rise all the way up with a flat spine, bringing your hands up together at the top, and exhale them through your midline down to the heart center. Inhale. Exhale the hands down, inhaling them up. Exhale, swan dive forward, folding over your legs. Drop your crown. Inhale into that flat spine and exhale down again. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Feel that breeze. It's shaking my computer. Inhale. Exhale the hands down. Inhale the hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Drop your hands, drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down. And reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. I'm going to change my orientation slightly as we head into our first sun salutation. So I'm going to be at a slight tilt to the camera so that you can see the angles of my body as we move through these sun salutations. I invite you, if you want, to take a set of blocks to assist you if you find that reaching for the earth is difficult. Given that this is the power yoga class today, I'm really actually probably not going to use them unless I want to demonstrate the use of them specifically. So today I'm going to be block free, but they're there in case I need to demonstrate for you on your side. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Drop your hands to the floor, drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine, exhaling down, drawing your heart down as you fold over. Take your right foot back into space. And initially we're going to start with a drop knee. Place your hands on top of your left knee. Inhale your heart center up. Draw your shoulders down. We're just beginning to warm up the spine. Exhale, drop your hands on either side of your left foot, moving back into plank pose. Set up your plank pose so that your heart is moving forward and your heels are moving back. Your hips are in alignment with your upper back. Drop your knees, lift up your hips. Bring elbows into the ribs, drop your chin, drop your chest, and inchworm. Inhale your way forward into low cobra, drawing the shoulders down as you lift up the heart center. Exhale, tuck your toes, move back to child's pose, and then lift up into your first downward facing dog of the day. You can start off with a nice bend in the legs, focusing on drawing the hips up and back to give space for the heart and the chest to open up. Initially, don't force anything. Well, never force anything, but for sure don't force anything in this pose. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, bring your right foot forward in between your hands and drop your left knee. Place your hands on your right knee. Inhale your heart center up as you draw your shoulders down, starting to open up the sola on this left side. And then exhale, drop your hands, lift up your knee, and take your left foot forward to join the right. Inhale into a flat spine, exhaling down. Inhale, rise all the way up into Dasana, hands overhead. Exhale, hands down through the midline to heart center. Inhale. Exhale the hands down, inhale the hands up, and then exhale, swan dive forward, drawing the heart center down, dropping your hands, dropping your crown. Inhale into a flat spine, exhaling down and taking our left foot back, dropping our knee, hands on top of the right knee. Inhale the heart center up, lifting up and out of that left hip to start to stretch it out. Exhale, place both hands on the floor, bringing your feet together in plank behind you. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, drop the knees. Elbows to ribs, chin and chest to the floor. Move forward on the inhale into low cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, moving the hips back to child's pose. Rising up into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, take the left foot forward. Drop the right knee. Place the hands on the left knee, rising up, stretching out the front of the right hip too. And then exhale, place your hands on the floor. Bring right foot back to join left. Inhale into a flat spine, exhaling down. Inhale, rise all the way up, hands overhead. Exhale, bring them through the midline down to heart center. Inhale. Exhale the hands down. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Drop your crown. Inhale into that flat spine. Exhale down, taking your right foot back and drop your knee. This time, hands overhead. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, drop the shoulders down your back as you move your hips forward. Really beginning to open up that right hip. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down, moving back into plank. Drop the knees, elbows into ribs, chin and chest to the floor. Inhale forward into low cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, moving back into child's pose and into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, bring your right foot forward. Drop your left knee. Inhale your hands overhead. Exhale, draw the shoulders down as you move your hips forward. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circling the hands down, bringing left foot up to join the right. Inhale into a flat spine and exhale down. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale the hands down. Inhale the hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward, drawing the heart center down, dropping your crown. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down and take your left foot back, dropping the knee. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, circle the hands down, moving back into plank. Drop the knees, elbows in, chin and chest to the floor, and inchworm. Inhale forward into low cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, moving back through down child's pose into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, take the left foot forward. Drop your right knee. Inhale your hands up. And then exhale, moving your hips forward, drawing the shoulders down. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down. Take right foot forward to join the left. Inhale into a flat spine, exhaling down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So now our next round of sun salutation will be with the high lunge version. And then we're going to move into some twists in our lunges for the fourth set. Take a nice inhale. Exhale the hands down. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward, drawing the heart center down as you drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine, exhale down and take your right foot back. In this high lunge, inhale, rise up. Draw the heart center up to the sky as you draw your shoulders down. Strengthen your hamstring behind you, lifting up the back of your leg to really open up your right psoas. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down on either side of the left foot. Take your left foot back to join your right. Remain in high plank and lower chaturanga dandasana by moving the heart center forward, drawing elbows to ribs. Hover over the floor slightly before we move into upward facing dog. Exhale, rolling over the toes. Draw the belly button in as we move into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale and fully exhale. Inhale. Exhale, take your right foot forward and rise up into Anjaneyasana. Exhale, draw the shoulders down as you lift up the heart center and strengthen your left leg behind you, lifting up the hamstring to open up your left hip. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down. Left foot forward to join the right. Inhale into a flat spine, exhaling down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, draw hands down to the heart center in prayer. Inhale. Exhale the hands down. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward, drawing your heart center down. Inhale into that flat spine, exhaling down. Take your left foot back. Inhale, rise up into Anjaneyasana. Make your hamstring very strong on the back of your left leg. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle down. Bring right foot back to join left, moving the heart center forward as you lower in Chaturanga Dandasana. And then inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, rolling over the toes. Draw your belly in as you move backward into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale, draw your hips back. Inhale. Exhale, take your left foot forward. Inhale, rise your hands up in Anjaneyasana. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, lift up the back of the leg as you draw your shoulders back and down, lifting up your heart center. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down, right foot forward to join your left. Inhale into a flat spine, exhaling down. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to the top. Exhale, draw your hands down to heart center in prayer. Take a nice inhale and exhale. Take this moment to connect with your breath if you've begun to lose it a little bit. We've just started doing some significant movement and moving blood through the body. The legs really pump the blood up, and we started doing some deep knee bends. Also, take this time to establish your intention. What is your intention for this practice? What is your mindset? Are you fully present on the mat with me today? Have you brought yourself, your spirit, your heart, and your mind, and your physical body to the mat? If you have not fully brought yourself to the mat, I invite you to do so now. Let's move into our next set of sun salutations as promised with some twists. Take a nice inhale. Exhale the hands down. Inhale our hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Draw the heart center down. Drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhaling down. Take our right foot back. Inhale our hands up to the air. Exhale, circling them down, bringing them to heart center. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Bring your torso over your left leg. Twist to the left and clip your right elbow on the outside of your left leg. Press your hands together as you twist to the left, drawing the crown of your head forward to create maximum length in your spine. Create length on the inhale by drawing the crown forward. And on your exhale, you deepen into your twist, pressing your hands together, drawing your left shoulder back. Take another inhale. Exhale, bring your hands up, facing forward. Take an inhale, and then exhale. Bring your hands down, left foot back to join the right. Lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, moving back into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, moving your hips back. Inhale, taking your right foot forward, and then rising up. Exhale, circle the hands down, bringing them to heart center. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, fold over the right leg, twist to the right, clipping your left elbow on the outside of your right leg. Take an inhale, and then exhale, twist. Draw the right shoulder back. Inhale, draw the crown of your head forward. Exhale, draw the right shoulder back. Pressing those hands together. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, float your hands down on either side of your right foot. Take right foot back to join left. Lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, move back into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale, walk our hands up to the front of the mat, up to join the hands. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down. Bend our legs deeply and roll the spine up, allowing your hands to hang heavy. When you arrive at the top, chin is still next to the chest. Inhale the shoulders up. Lift up the crown of your head. Lift up the heart center, arriving into Tadasana. Inhale our hands up. Exhale, sit back into chair. Bring your weight back into your heels, fingertips to the floor, and then rise up your hands. As you take this chair pose, an incredibly grounding pose, it helps to lift the toes, because when you lift the toes, it signals to you that you're moving your weight backwards and you're engaging your quadricep muscles. Draw your tailbone slightly down to the floor, tuck your tailbone, and lift up the heart center more if it's available to you. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward, drawing the heart center down. Inhale into that flat spine. Exhale down and take your right foot back again in that lunge. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, circle your hands down, bringing them to heart center, and we will take another twist. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, float down above your left leg, twist to the left. Drawing the hands together, drawing the left shoulder back, drawing the crown of the head forward. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. If you want to, you can open it up. Inhale. Exhale. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bring hands to heart center, rising them up overhead on the inhale. Exhale, float your hands down. Left foot to join right, lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, moving back into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, move those hips back, starting to open up your heart center, drawing it towards your thighs or towards the floor. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, take the left foot forward. Is it left? No, right. Sorry. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, float down over your right thigh, twisting to the right, drawing the right shoulder back. Inhale. Exhale, draw that shoulder back. If you want, open up those arms. Inhale. Exhale, twist. One more inhale. Exhale, bring the hands together, facing forward. Inhale, the hands overhead. Exhale, circle them down. Bringing left foot to join the right. Inhale into a flat spine, exhaling down. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. A little bit of clothing adjustment. These are wonderful yoga pants, but they always want to pull down. Okay, so now let's move back into that chair pose. Hands to the floor, heart center forward, and then inhale. Lift up the heart, lift up the hands. Remember, float your tailbone down towards the floor. Draw the belly button in. Draw your shoulders down together on your back. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, circle your hands down, bringing them to heart center. So, twists facilitate good digestion. You are firing up the belly by engaging the core, by engaging your thighs in all these deep poses. You are really cleansing in this process. Take a nice inhale. Exhale our hands down. Inhale our hands up. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Take your right foot back as we set up for warrior one. So in warrior one, our right foot is facing forward, our heel is on the floor. Draw the belly button back, opening up this right psoas. Bend your right leg or left leg as deeply as feels right to you to still maintain this posture where here's your heart center and here are your hip bones, everything facing in the same direction. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, draw the shoulders down. Maybe even put your hands together overhead and look up at them. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, let's open up into warrior two. As we open up into warrior two, draw your shoulder blades down and together on your back. Draw your left knee towards your left pinky toe, using the muscles back here to engage. So these gluteus muscles, wrapping them around either side of your sacrum, engaging your entire inner thigh, drawing energy up through the ground, from the ground, through your left arch. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale, draw those shoulders down. If you want to, look out over your left fingertips. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, reverse that into peaceful warrior. Dropping your right hand down your leg as you bring your left hand overhead. Perhaps you even want to curl backwards to your right leg. As you do that, make sure you open up the heart, rotating your heart center up towards the sky. Drawing your left shoulder slightly back. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bringing back to warrior two arms. Place your left forearm on top of your left leg and bring your right hand overhead. That's one variation of extended side angle. You can also take your hands down to the floor. Drop your hips though, in order to maintain this alignment and create space for your torso. Take a nice inhale. On your exhale, draw your right arm alongside your right ear. Draw the crown of your head forward, creating length in the body from your ankle all the way up through your ribs to your shoulder. Rotate your right shoulder back slightly to rotate the heart up. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, circle your hand down, rising up into warrior two, and take your hands and clasp them behind you. Having your hands together, all clasped and holding tight, draw your arms down along your sacrum, down below your tailbone. Draw your shoulders back and down, pulling the belly button in as you lift up the heart center. Continue to engage those muscles around your sacrum, those gluteus muscles. Continue to engage those as you draw your left hip back. Never lose your form as we move into these variations. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, let's move into humble warrior, by drawing our left shoulder inside of our left knee, drawing the crown of our head alongside the arch of our foot. Draw our hips slightly forward, so moving them to your right to make sure that our left hip is tacked underneath. If it's available, continue to draw your hands up to the sky as you drop your crown. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, drop your hands on either side of your right foot. Rise up on your toes in the back and drop your knee. And let's move into half Hanumanasana. So moving our hips back in space, allowing our toes to peel off the floor. Draw the heart center forward towards our foot. Having our foot arched, toes pointing towards the sky. Draw your shoulders onto your back while you're doing this so that you can take advantage of this nice stretch all along the back of your hamstring. Take a nice inhale. Slowly exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, move forward. Lift up your right knee. Take it forward to join your left foot. Remain in this chair pose, rising up. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, circle your hands down to heart center. Take a beautiful inhale. And then on your exhale, take your left foot back into warrior one feet. So it may be different on this side. Everybody is different. We seek balance, but we have all these differences in our body that we're always trying to balance out. So in order to do that, you have to know your own anatomy. So this is your opportunity to turn inward and know yourself. In my circumstance, I always have to widen my stance or do something different on my left side versus my right. My left side is not as open in the front. My right side is not as open on the outside of the hip. So we have different experiences on each side. Once you have arrived with your left heel on the floor, straighten out that left leg behind you, bending your right leg to the point that feels good to you. Inhale our hands up. Continue to draw the shoulders down as you lift up your heart center, rooting your tailbone down, creating space for that as you lift up your heart center. Perhaps bringing your hands together up on top. Take one more inhale, and then exhale, opening up into warrior two. So you may need to make adjustments of your feet so that your front heel is aligned with your back arch. As you move into this pose, remember to wrap those gluteus muscles around your sacrum, drawing your right knee outward, engaging all these muscles of the inner thigh, drawing energy up from the ground, through the arch of your foot, up the middle part of the leg. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Perhaps you want to look out over your fingertips, your right side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Going into humble warrior. Continue to keep your hips nice and low, nice deep bend in your right leg. Inhale. Exhale, perhaps curling backwards. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, rotate your right shoulder back as you rotate your heart center up. One more inhale. Exhale, placing your right forearm on top of your left leg, left hand overhead, first variation. Or drop your hips even further. Bring your right hand down to the floor and bring your left arm overhead. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down, rising up into warrior two arms. Clasp our hands in the back. Draw our hands down. Perhaps change the orientation of your grasp. So whichever thumb was on top is now on the bottom. Take an inhale. Exhale. Lift up the heart center as you draw your shoulders down. Draw the belly button in. One more inhale. And then exhale, moving into humble warrior. Drawing our shoulder on the inside of our right leg, dropping our crown down towards our right arch. Moving our hips slightly to the left so that we can tack our right hip underneath our torso. Inhale. Exhale. Draw your arms up if you have space for that. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. Drop your hands down. Lift up on your toes. Drop your left knee to the floor and move back into Hanumanasana. Feeling that nice stretch in the back of your right leg. Draw your heart center towards the toes. Draw your shoulders back and down. Trying as much as you can to draw your shoulders onto your back. I see that breeze again, shaking around my computer. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. Let's move forward. Bring left foot to join our right. Staying in this chair pose, lifting up on the inhale. Exhale, draw the shoulders down. Allow space for the tailbone to float down to the ground. Moving your weight back into your heels, engaging your quads. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, circle your hands down. You might feel that you've worked very hard in the legs, and you have. But what you need to know is that with the breath, harnessing the breath, having control over the breath, you can do almost anything. Let's move into goddess pose. We've been taking goddess this week because it's the ultimate earth pose. I mean, it's called goddess, yes. It stimulates essentially every chakra along this midline. But the idea of it is that it's drawing you down to the earth while it's raising the crown of your head up to the heavens. That's a beautiful thing. Let's first start in star. Our toes are pointed out to either corner of the mat. Draw the heart center up as you draw your shoulders together and down your back. Feeling that freedom of this open chest, open heart. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, drawing your knees back towards your pinky toes, engaging all those muscles on your gluteus muscles, wrapping them around your sacrum. Again, that same movement, making your legs as wide as you can. Maybe you want to widen your stance to allow yourself to go more deeply into this goddess pose. Make sure your heart is lifted, that your shoulders are in alignment with your hips. Now, flick your hands up, draw your elbows down, continuing to draw your shoulder blades together. Make sure that your torso is straight up and down, that your crown is pulling towards the sky. Take a nice inhale. Exhale fully. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, take your hands to your waist. Turn your left toes forward. Turn your right toes forward, left toes to the left. We're setting up for triangle. So what I want you to do initially is create the stance that works best for you. Make sure that your hip bones are facing forward. Bring your hands out to the sides in warrior two. Lift up the heart, create lots of space, lifting up out of the hips as if there's an air bubble here that you're trying to make bigger by lifting the ribs, lifting the heart. Take a nice inhale. On your exhale, start to tilt into your triangle. So you have options. You can place your hands on your shin, all the way to the floor, onto your foot. They can be on the floor behind you. Your hand can be on the floor in front of you. Whichever you do, make sure that you rotate. Use the inner energy of your leg. Rotate your thigh upwards so that your knee is facing the ceiling. So you're rotating the leg bones inside of the hip socket. And then draw your heart center up and your arm follows. Notice how my arm is moving, but it's not moving independently. It's the whole heart moving, the whole chest. Drawing my left shoulder underneath my right. And then go for length of the torso by drawing the crown of your head towards your left toes. Feel that stretch all along your right torso. Places you should not feel this. You should not feel it in your back. If you do, back out of the pose ever so slightly if you need to, or more if you need to. Feel free to use a block to elevate you more in this pose. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Take another inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, bend your left leg slightly as we turn towards our right foot. I'm actually going to move back towards the middle of my mat. I didn't realize how I had gotten so far up to the front. So let's move into pyramid pose. Bring your right foot slightly in, straighten out your left leg. Again, this is another good chance to use blocks if you want to elevate you if you cannot touch the floor with your hands safely. How do we know if it's safe? If your shoulders are rounding down and can't lay back on your back, then you know that you need to elevate your hands just a little bit. Bring your right hip in and your left hip in, bringing the energy into the center of the body, strengthening your core, strengthening your base. Draw the crown of your head forward as you draw your shoulders together on your back. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, moving with the heart center over the leg, looking at your second toe. Continue to move into this pyramid pose, but don't forget alignment of the pelvis by drawing your hips together as if somebody took a pair of hands and is pushing them together. Engaging your root lock, your mula bandha. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Fully exhale and place your right hand inside of your right foot, anywhere inside this leg that works best for your shoulder alignment. Take your left hand to your left hip and then start to twist to the left as we set up for revolved triangle. Again, pushing your hips together. Take your left hand overhead and rotate your left shoulder back by twisting your entire torso to the left. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. Bend your left leg slightly as you bring your left hand down to the ground, and we are setting up for standing half moon or balancing half moon. Lift up your right leg to hip height. Initially, you're just in basically a standing split. Take your right hand to your right hip and then start to open up that hip by stacking your right hip bone on top of your left. Draw your right shoulder back at the same time, stacking your left shoulder underneath your right shoulder. Continue to engage that right leg, making it strong and straight at hip height or slightly higher. Draw that shoulder back and then lift up your right arm. Drawing your shoulder blades together on your spine. Feeling that freedom of a nice, gorgeous, open, balancing half moon. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Take our right hand to the floor. Bend our leg, moving back into warrior 2 feet. Circle up or cartwheel up into warrior 2. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, hands to your hips. Straighten out your left leg. Turn your left toes forward. And let's do a nice forward fold. So place our hands right on our sacroiliac joints. Place your thumbs back there, wrapping your fingers on the outside of your hips. Lift up your heart center. Draw your shoulders together on your back. Draw your elbows together as much as you can, lifting up the heart, lifting up and out of the hips, out of the lower spine. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, moving forward, keeping your hips stationary, floating your sit bones up to the sky as you draw your heart center down. And then when you have found this wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Uttanasana, draw your elbows back as you draw your heart center down. Your face is looking at the floor right now, and then maybe you want to drop your crown. Continue to move your weight into the front of your feet, lifting up your sits bones, drawing the heart center down. Continuing to refine your alignment in this pose. Take another inhale. Exhale, place your hands on your back again. Draw your elbows and your shoulders together and rise up with a flat spine on your inhale. Exhale. Turn your right toes to the right. Leave your left toes right where they are. Take our hands into warrior two arms. Inhale, create space, create lift. On your exhale, moving into your triangle. Again, your hands can be on your shin, on your foot, to the floor behind you, to the floor in front of you. This side's not as open, so I'm going to take it to my ankle. Inhale, and then exhale. Rotate the heart center up as we bring our right shoulder underneath and our left shoulder on top. Inhale, exhale, rotating the bones of your right thigh. So you're tacking your hip down, rotating the inner thigh up, knee facing the ceiling. And I just lost my piece. Take another inhale, exhale. One more inhale, and then exhale. Bend your right leg, bring your left hand down, and then bring your left foot slightly forward as we set up for pyramid pose on this side. Once again, check your alignment. If you need blocks because your shoulders are rolling down, then feel free to take them. Draw your shoulders back onto your spine. Press your hips together. Take an inhale. And then on your exhale, begin to draw your heart center down towards your leg. Inhale. Exhale. Take another inhale. Exhale, placing your left hand inside wherever it feels good to you. I like to kind of have mine a little bit further away. Some people actually place their left hand right on top of their foot. Know your own body, know what your shoulders can handle, know what your hips can handle. Take your right hand to your right hip, and now rotate your body to the right. Continuing to press your hips together, creating a strong and stable base, engaging your root lock. Drawing your chest to the right as you spiral your right shoulder back and your left shoulder beneath, and then lift your hand above. Revolve triangle. Take one more inhale. Exhale. Bend your legs slightly. Take your right hand out, away from your right foot, to the right of it, slightly in front. Initially rise up into those standing splits. Find your alignment there. Then take your left hand, place it on your left hip, and open up the hips. Left leg is strong and straight behind you at hip height or above. Now draw your left shoulder back so that it's stacking over the right shoulder. Right hip stacking over the left, under the left. The left shoulder is on top, left hip is on top, right shoulder below, right hip below. Then open up your left arm if it's available to you. Feel the strength of this pose. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, open up your heart. One more inhale. Exhale, bend your right leg. Move back into warrior two and rise up. Feet forward again. We will go for another forward fold. So placing your hands on your hips. Once again, your thumbs touching your sacroiliac joints to remind you where they are. Draw your elbows together, lift up your heart center. And then exhale, start to move the heart forward, floating the sit bones up. Control is the name of the game. Drawing the heart center down as you lift your sit bones up. And let's move over to the right. So twisting towards our right leg. Try to keep our hips in alignment, not shifting them to the right. Creating space for our tailbone to float down, widening our sits bones. Take another inhale, and then exhale, walk your hands over to the left. Doing the same thing there. Try not to move your hips to the left because you're moving to the left. Keep them centralized. Create space between your sits bones by drawing your right thigh to the right and then twisting to the left. Take another inhale. Exhale, move to the center. Create a half lift, creating as much length as you can from crown to your tailbone. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale with hands on either foot. Fold down, drawing your elbows out to the side, drawing your shoulders together on your back. Drawing the crown of your head to the floor. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, place your hands back on your lower spine, thumbs touching your sacroiliac joints. Draw your elbows together, draw your shoulders together, lift up with a flat spine on your inhale. Exhale, place our hands together, and let's move our feet together. That was graceful, huh? So let's do one standing pose together, tree pose, because tree pose is truly grounding. Your feet are the roots, your arms are the branches, your legs are the trunks, your fingers are the leaves, and your crown of your head is all part of that trunk of the tree and the top of the tree, drawing up towards that nourishing, beautiful sun. So let's find our Tadasana to start. In Tadasana, remember, we're standing nice and tall. It helps to lift all the five toes on each foot. Yes, who has 4 toes? Lifting them up, drawing the heart center up, lifting up the ribs, and then allowing the shoulders to float down as we twist our hands forward to allow those shoulders to wrap onto our back. Having created this stability and this space and length, now you can lower your toes. Maintaining that posture, then take your left leg and choose the variation that you want. Toes to the floor, toes off the floor but wrapped around the ankle, toes around the calf, or if it's available to you, all the way to the top of the leg. You can also take the lotus version, but I'm not going to use that today. I don't typically take that version. It requires really open hips, and I can do it, but I find myself moving my hips backwards to create space for it. So I prefer this version at the top of the leg. Sorry about my balance today, guys. Okay, balance at the top of the leg. So while you're here, creating that same experience you had in Tadasana. So let's start initially with our hands down, reminding us of what Tadasana feels like. Lifting up, lifting the heart center, drawing the shoulders down, lifting up the crown. Now press your foot into your leg and your leg into your foot and bring your hands to prayer. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, draw the hands up to the sky. Continuing to draw the shoulders together, back and down. This actually facilitates it. Maybe wiggle your fingers as if the breeze is blowing through your leaves. My foot is slipping. These pants aren't cooperating. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, bring the hands together and lower that left leg. Shake it out. So for tree pose to work with the leg up high on the thigh, or the foot up on the thigh, you gotta have pants that don't want to slide. And it helps to have feet that are a little bit sweaty, actually. My feet are a little bit cold out here, so they're very dry feeling. So they want to slide on these pants, but that's okay. So let's move back into Tadasana. Lift up our toes, feeling the ball joints making contact with the earth, lifting up the heart, drawing the belly button up underneath the ribs. Then lower our toes, keeping this gorgeous Tadasana. Pick your foot version. So against the ankle, foot on the floor, lift it off the floor, on the calf, or if you prefer, all the way up at the top. Let's see if my pants are going to cooperate on this side. Starting off in Tadasana, arms, bring them to heart center. Take a nice inhale, exhale. Strengthen your form, and then bring your hands up, allowing your fingers to be the leaves. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, bring hands to heart center. And with control, lower your right foot. Shake it out. So that's the only standing pose that we're going to do today, but we are going to find our way to the floor. We're going to do a couple of bridge poses before we settle in to do our pigeon poses, okay? So I'm going to turn slightly again to the right so that you can see my body form at home. Take an inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward, drawing the heart center down as you fold in. Inhale into that flat spine. Exhale, place your hands down and move back into downward facing dog. Make your dog long and beautiful and strong. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, move the hips back. Draw the shoulders together and down your spine. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, drop your knees. And let's initially move into hero. Hero is very important to take on a daily basis if you can, in each routine, to create synovial fluid in your knees, really juicing up the knees, stretching out these ligaments on either side of the knees. If you need to elevate on a block or on a bolster or on a blanket, feel free to do so, but it also stretches out the front, the tops of our feet. That's also important to avoid injuries to the ankles. Having a body that is strong at the core, at the roots and in the joints, but also creating flexibility at the same time. This is the recipe for avoiding injury, particularly as we get older. We need to continue to be mobile. We need to continue to move. We need to continue to push our body into its edges, continuing to work it. Whatever you don't work, you lose, they say. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Now let's rise up, tuck our toes and sit back on our heels ever so briefly to stretch out the bottoms of our feet. Feel that counter stretch. First, the top of the foot was really stretching out. Now we're stretching out the underside of the foot. You don't have to do this for very long, but I do recommend you take time to do it every single day. Take a nice inhale and fully exhale. Move forward, swing your feet around and sit back down on your bum. So finding your way a little bit further up on the mat, keeping your legs bent. Let's lay down. So what we're going to do is find the strength of our pelvis here. Again, this is another nice grounding, root chakra enhancing pose to move into bridge pose. So as you're laying on the floor, locate in your mind, in your sensations and how your body is feeling, find your sacrum. So here's a clue. If both of those bony points that we found, those dimples on your back that we found in the forward fold, if those are touching the floor, then your sacrum is touching. If you need to lift up your hips and wiggle them out and then put them back down to locate that, totally works, that's good. Then I want you to, on your inhale, keep your whole back and your hips pressed into the floor. But on your inhale, I just want you to tilt your pelvis bowl up. So inhale, tilt it up, keeping your whole spine in contact with the floor. And then I want you to feel that space between your sits bones. That's where your root lock is. I want you to draw that in as you draw your belly button down. Find your root lock by rotating your pelvis up and bringing your belly button down, pressing your back into the floor. Exhale, release that down and allow your pelvis bowl to float down. Feel your sits bones moving towards the floor when you do that, and maybe lifting up this part of your back just above the lumbar region, maybe lifting that up just a little bit. Exhale, inhale, lift up the pelvis bowl, just rotating it, pressing your back into the floor, locating that space between the sits bones, engaging that root lock. So this is your root lock down here, the Mula Bandha. This is your navel lock, the Uddiyana Bandha. Take a nice inhale, and then exhale, release that down. And then let's do one more of those. Inhale, find your root lock, find your navel lock, pull them down. Pull the pelvis bowl up slightly as you engage the root lock and pull your navel lock down. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, release. And then on your next, you're going to engage all those, but now you're going to lift your pelvis off the floor. So inhale, lift up the pelvis, engage the root lock, engage the navel lock, but you are lifting everything off the floor. And you're going to start engaging your hamstrings on the back of your legs, moving your knees forward. And right now, your hands are just resting on the floor. So what we're going for now is lifting up the hips in alignment with our thighs as our knees move forward, keeping our chin stationary, making sure that our neck has its natural curve and is not pressed against the floor, shoulders firmly into the floor. Does that feel good? You should feel engagement of basically these muscles, a little bit engagement of the glutes, firm engagement of your hamstrings, engagement of your quadricep muscles as you move your knees forward, pulling the belly button in, and engagement of your root lock in between your sits bones. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, lower it down. Now, your next time, you can go as high as you want to in this. If you're able to bring your heart center up to your chin, lift up your torso in a curve as if you're going into an upward wheel. Continue to move those knees forward. If you want to clasp your hands underneath you next time and kind of walk your shoulders together, you are free to do so. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale. And then inhale, rise up. Remembering all the cues from the last time. Hold that form as long as you can, as strongly as you can, continuing to lift up the hips, continuing to lift up your heart center, continuing to keep your face towards the sky, towards the ceiling. Keep that natural curve in your neck. Take a nice inhale and then exhale. Lower it down. Draw your knees into your chest and perhaps make some circles. You've really worked your lower back. You've really worked your hips. Then let's roll back, roll forward, roll back, and massage the spine, and then roll forward and up onto your feet. Okay, so let's take Malasana, another nice, beautiful grounding pose. Widen our feet, toes are facing outside. Bring our hands up to heart center. Lift up the heart, draw the shoulders down. Perhaps use your elbows to anchor your knees in between your knees and draw your knees apart, allowing maximum space for your sit bones to float down to the floor. Continue to draw the crown of your head up as you draw your shoulders back and down, creating as much space as you can from your shoulders to your ears, allowing as much space as you can for your sit bones and your tailbone to float down to the ground. Take an inhale. Fully exhale. Now let's take crow pose. If you want to, you can stay here if you want to. So I'm going to draw my knees into my armpits. So there's different ways you can do it, but I'm choosing it from this crouched position. Placing your hands out in front of you, start to move into the crow. And when you find your balancing point, you can actually stay here for a really long time. Looking at the ground, keeping the crown of your head lifted. Take one more inhale. And then if you want to, float back. That wasn't very graceful. Into plank pose. And then to lower in chaturanga, move the heart forward, elbows down. And then lower all the way to the floor. Rise up and move back into tabletop. And then we're just going to move into our pigeon sequence by just moving our left leg forward. Let's start with the left leg initially. Take your knee forward, left foot to the right. And let's initially locate that root lock again. Drawing your knees isometrically towards the center. Lift up the body. So if you find this difficult, go ahead and get a set of blocks, but still focus on drawing your right knee forward and your left knee back. And lift your hands overhead. Strengthening your pelvis underneath while you're doing this. It's amazing. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down. Move your right leg back if you want to engage in a greater stretch. Lift up the heart center, curling up the heart, drawing the shoulders down. And then on your exhale, go ahead and fold over your left leg. Find the variation that works best for you. Perhaps drop your forehead to the floor. This is a good opportunity to take a block and place your forehead on the block as it further calms the nervous system. It's quite amazing feeling that sensation. Inhale, rise up. If you want to, let's stretch out the right quad by placing our left hand on the ground, bending our right leg, reaching back and grabbing our right ankle with our right hand or the foot and drawing it towards our right hip. Maybe you swivel your hand on top of your foot to open up your right shoulder. Knuckles pointed forward, heel drawing towards the right buttock, stretching out the top of your right quad. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, gently release that down. And then move back into tabletop again. And then slide our right leg forward. Begin with the knee and then bring our right foot out to the left. And initially we'll start off like we did before, drawing right knee backwards, left knee forwards as we rise up. Bring our hands up overhead. Feeling the strength. Feeling the engagement of all your pelvic floor muscles. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, float your hands down. Bring your left foot back now. And stretch out to your liking. folding over your right leg. If you want to go back and take that block for your forehead again, feel free. One more inhale, rise up. Reach back if you want and grab your left foot, drawing it towards your left hip, opening up the shoulder by rotating your knuckles forward. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release that gently. And we will just move back into Shavasana at this time. So find your Shavasana. Take your time getting there. Maybe when you lay back down, you need to do a little bit of wiggling. Maybe take Happy Baby to start. You can rock back and forth, massage your spine. All this deep breathing is good for my sinuses. I'm feeling them release. We've had lots of wind and very dry weather, and my sinuses have been suffering this week. Now I'm taking Baddha Konasana and working my knees apart in alignment with my hips. Just doing another little hip opener before I release. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, release that. Allow your feet to float to the floor. You can stay with your knees bent, facing the sky, feet on the floor. You can take down angle, Baddha Konasana. Or you can extend your feet all the way out in front of you. And find comfort. Hi, Arya. Come here, sweetie girl. I don't want you to knock over my computer. Take a nice inhale. And exhale. And start to relax your whole body from the crown of your head all the way to your toes. Tell yourself to relax each and every part, releasing any tension you may be holding. Letting go of any further work of these muscles that have worked so hard for you today. Soften all of your edges, allowing the mat to fully support your body, drawing comfort from the earth, drawing security from the earth, knowing that you have stability and you have a stable foundation. Continue to lay in Shavasana. while I talk with you about Muladhara, or the root chakra. The root chakra is located at the base of the spine. We have 7 main energy centers of the body, and this is one of them. The root chakra can be visualized in the color of red, and it is most closely aligned with the earliest part of our life, from birth until about 3 years old. One could even argue that it's earlier than that it is inside of our mother's womb. And so this chakra governs our sense of security, our sense that we are safe, our sense that our most basic needs have been met. The crying baby that is not picked up will stop crying because it expects not to be picked up. But the baby that cries and is nurtured by his mother or father or other loving adults and whose needs are met will settle down. And maybe will cry for such need in the future, but it will always be met with nurturing and love and care and tenderness. So when you think of the root chakra, I want you to think of it that way. So I want you to close your eyes and imagine the glowing red of the root chakra. But this root chakra also connects us to the earth. When we have the need to make our home more cozy, more inviting, we are acting out of the energy of the root chakra. When the root chakra is out of alignment, we feel untethered. We feel perhaps a little frenetic, a little bit like things are not in our control. So it is good to take a grounding practice at such times to remind us that we are still tethered, that we only need to take the time, perhaps take the Prithvi Mudra, ground our sits bones into the earth, and take deep and long breaths from the base of our spine all the way to the crown of our head, moving energy subtly up and down through the center of the body, through each of those energy centers. I invite you to take Tadasana. Got too many things going on. Shavasana for 5 minutes or longer. Feeling yourself fall into the deepest state of relaxation, enjoying all of the benefits of your practice. I want to thank you for joining me today. I invite you to visit my YouTube and join so that you can be notified when there are new videos available. I also invite you to visit my website, KathleenCoombsYoga.com. The light in me joins the light in you. The yogi in me honors the yogi in you. Namaste.